of this church. And I want to say, can we give her? We want to give Miss E. Carter for accepting the best church in Pensacola. Without a shadow of doubt. To be able to stand and want to be a part of this ministry after the word that she have heard on live screen. And not that we is soliciting for that, but I just want people to know the truth. That's special to me. That's why now I'm just ready to preach hell about somebody. I'm ready to tell somebody who God is, what he stands for, what he means, why that I love him so much. Because he loved me first. I was a sinner on my way to hell. I ain't got to go now. I feel good. It feels like I just got saved. It feels like, you know, when you first get saved, you want to tell everybody about Jesus. You want to tell everybody how good he is. You want everybody to be saved. And I've been in the church almost 20 years. I went back to when I first got saved. You know the devil got a problem. And then the message God gave me, just go along with it. Y'all you ain't got to pimp me up. You ain't got to prime me up. I've been called to do this. It don't matter if you don't say amen. It don't matter if you say nothing. It just really don't matter. It's the God that's inside of me. I guess I'll start this part all right. We'll go to Revelation. What most preachers are scared to preach from. I feel pretty good in my sanctified soul. And just happen this might be your first time here, I can introduce myself to you. I'm nothing to play with. I'm not here to make friends with nobody, and I'm not here to make you like me. I'm here to let you know that God is real. And in him is no darkness at all. Revelation, the 22nd chapter, beginning at the 18th verse. Revelation 22 and 18. Miss Carter has made me so proud that she let me know one thing. Pensacola is just looking over the truth. That if somebody can look at live stream and say, I want to be a member in Pensacola from Georgia. And Pensacola's afraid to come here, but all of them so saved and holy. What you afraid of the truth? Revelation 22 and 18. For I testify, in other words, I witness unto every man that hears the word of the prophets of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. He which testified these things say, surely come quickly. Oh, Heavenly Father, in Jesus, I say right now, God, have your way. Have your way in this place, God. Do whatever you decide to do, God, but have free course. God, I anoint my eyes that I can see whatever the demonic spirit you desire for me to see. I anoint my ears that I can hear directly from you. But most of all, God, I anoint my mouth that I will say nothing of myself, but all that your 66 books say. And God, you're serving as some as you, that the way these people came in here, they won't leave that way. God, we need one word from you. One word that can change our life. One word that can put us on the right path. One word, God. And God, you got that word today. And God, we forever give you the praise. We'll give you the thanks. In your son Jesus' name we pray. And every heart can say, amen, amen, amen. And you could have your seat. I'm going to let God lead me to how I'm going to do this. because I'm kind of excited. And that ain't a good thing for the enemy when I'm excited. And I'm going to start this off to let people know there's so many people in church this morning, and they swear and agree that they are with God and they are going to make it in. So I want to start this off by saying going to church doesn't make you a Christian any more than standing in a garage, you're a car. Going to church don't make you a Christian. It's just like me standing in my garage don't make me a car. So many people are going to church and swear they're a Christian, but they really not. They're a churchgoer. I can stand in my garage all I want. It don't make me a car. And people don't want to hear about hell, but not believing there is a hell does not make it disappear. So whether you believe it or not, God's word is real. That's how God dealing with me this morning. So I'm giving it to you as He gave me. I don't practice. I don't do no rehearsal. I just give it as God, the Holy Ghost lead me. You know, we so mad with the lady that took prayer out of school. You know, the church is mad with the lady that took prayer out of school. I'm going to preach, y'all. But we are so mad with her for taking prayer out of school. But how can someone stop me from praying in school if I pray silent? So she really didn't take prayer out of school. She really did. But let me ask you this. But the believer has taken the sacred Bible out of the church for a tablet. People don't even carry a Bible to church no more. They use their phone. They use their tablet. So now we don't took the Bible, the sacred Bible, out of the church. Ain't no life in no tablet. Because you had to charge it up all the time. All I got to do is keep this with me and read it. That Simmons, boy, that man said, they took the sacred Bible out of the church for a cell phone or for a tablet. When you ask the preacher, can you read the scripture? They got to do the... I carry my Bible. And that's why the word this morning is, the Bible is right and somebody wrong. Now who it is, the Bible right, it don't matter how we change it, no matter what translation you get, the Bible is still right. And I said, I know the Bible is right. And I is referred to oneself. Because you might not believe it's right. Because when it come up against our lifestyle, it makes it not right. And in the vision of Psalm 94 and 16, he said, who shall rise up for me against the evildoer? Me, Lord. Who will rise up against the evildoer? Me. Who will stand for me against the works of iniquity? Me. Because the Bible is against all men who hold the truth and a lie. The Bible is against all men that hold the truth and a lie, who try to do anything they want to do and still try to raise their hand to a holy God. The Bible is right and somebody is wrong. Sugarcoating preaching is dangerous for your soul. When they make the preaching sound right and the thing that you know is wrong, you still want to do it, but they make it right. And you know good and well, because God gave every man the spirit, you know it's not right. It said, I know. To know is to being aware of something as a fact or truth. Being aware, realizing, being informed, noticing, seeing, sensing, or recognizing. I know the Bible is right. I ain't got to worry about nobody. This ain't no part of the deal. When you die, you're going to die alone. You're going to get in the casket alone. Ain't nobody getting in there with you. They might fool you that they're going to try to get in with you. But the next time you catch somebody trying to get in, just nudge them a little bit. They ain't trying to get in that casket. That's just so they can get some of the money they're going to give out. A problem. He said knowing is defined as to have an understanding. Knowing is to have information in your mind to be able to be aware of something. I know. That's what all of them just said. I know the Bible is right. And when you look up right, it said truth or correct or as a fact. So I know it's right. But when I get to you, I have to say somebody's wrong. So I have to give you what's wrong. Not correct, not true, incorrect, a mistake. But I know the Bible is right. Jesus being used by people that say they love him. And we don't want to be used by nobody. I know the Bible is right. The baddest sin is to reject Jesus' word. But he come over here in Revelation and start telling us. He said, for I testify to every man. In other words, the writer of him was testifying to every man that hearing the word of the prophets of this book. And so many times we'll try to go to church and let somebody prophesy to us. But every scripture that I give you today will be a prophecy that the Bible is right and somebody wrong. Because don't no real prophecy prophesy cars and a husband and houses to nobody. A prophet tells the people what's right and wrong, when to move, when not to move. But we are so fooled because people don't took the Bible and pimped it into what we want. But don't nobody want to be saved. What we going to do with this Bible, y'all? He said, for I testify unto every man. That's every man that hears the word of the prophets of this book. So what you hear today, God going to be able to judge you by what you hear. And so many times churches can get away because a lot of times preachers is not preaching the truth. In Leviticus 27:8, he says, sanctify yourself. And now people want to tell me they Baptist, they want to tell me they Methodist, they want to tell me they Zion. But he said, the Bible is right. And right here, he tells us to sanctify ourselves. Sanctify means set aside, put yourself away from the world and don't love the world and the things of the world and be used by me. In other words, present your body to me as a living sacrifice. That's why I wore red this morning, because the blood still got power and up under the blood. And you can't be up under the blood and being out of the blood at the same time. The Bible is right. He said, I ask people all the time, and I'm going to just ask you, some of y'all visit, guests here, just ask yourself. Now, I ask people all the time, what makes you saved? And the first thing they tell me, well, I believe in God, I love God, I did that. They give me all these things. So somebody ain't taught them right. But it was not the shedding of the blood, there was no remission for your sin. So the first thing you said, I'm saved because of the blood of Jesus. But they ain't teaching that. They say you took the right hand of fellowship of the church of the man of God, but they ain't teaching right. It's the blood that makes us right. It makes you pure. It makes you white again. And the blood still got power, because if I sin today and I'm up under the blood and I repent, I'm back right. But you get, if it had a password in heaven for you to tell me how you got saved, you're talking about because I believe, God's going to have to tell you to leave. You know, membership only. Everybody ain't going. What do you go to church for? What are we here for this morning? He said, for I testify to every man that hears the prophets of this book. If any man shall add unto these things. Why everybody adding on to the Bible now? Why are we adding on to it? Huh? Why all these new translations? All he said, the mystery of the scripture here for them in the law, that's why he tell you to be born again. Because once you're born again, the Spirit of God bring everything back to your remembrance. But if you ain't born again, that's why it's a mystery. And we get the new translation, but the new translation don't lie because the Bible right. It said a virgin had Jesus, not a little girl. But some translations say a little girl. Well, a little girl could be had sex before. But a virgin, we know is pure. See what I'm saying? They took the power from what it really said. It said a virgin. We know what a virgin is. Most of us not. But let's be real. See, that time in the church, I don't follow say stuff like that. But it's reality. We know what a virgin is. That's somebody that has not been touched, is pure. So the Savior had to come through something pure. That's all I'm saying. So don't take the power and say a little girl. Leave it to what it is. The Bible is right. And somebody is wrong. This is what it said. He said, sanctify yourself. Therefore, and be ye holy. That's the first thing. it's right. He said, for I am the Lord your God, and you shall keep my statute. Don't nobody have to keep his statute now. He said, the wages of sin is death. We said, God died for the sins of the world. But the Bible right. He said, should we continue in sin that grace abound? It said, God forbid. Not Paul, not me. God forbid. So we shouldn't continue in sin even though Jesus don't die. The Bible is right. And somebody wrong. If somebody is telling you wrong, I mean, you just got to know they're telling you wrong. How do you know, Apostle Simon? How do you know? Because of the word of God. He constantly tells us stuff. It said, if a pastor won't call out the wolf, it's because he won. If a pastor won't tell you your wrongdoing, he got some wrongdoing, and you know it. That's why you keep going there, because you don't want to come somewhere with somebody saying, you got to be holy. You got to walk right. You can't club right. You can't have unlawful sex. You don't want to hit them on. You can't drink right. You can't smoke right. You can't get high no more. Even though they said, God made all that. He did. You ain't drinking poison. He made that too. But we try to make excuses. Sin don't need much space to work. The thinner the crack will do. All he needs is to get in just a little bit. Sin don't need much. You look, when we rap and like somebody, it don't take much for that person to get you when you like them a little bit. It's hard for a person to get you that don't like you at all. But something that I used to say when I was out there hoeing, if I can make you laugh, I can get you. So when them women started giggling, and they want to talk a little bit, I said, boy, they just for the matter of time. She already in agreement. Y'all don't know that about men, but y'all women slick too now. I ain't gonna just put that on the men, because y'all know when the man keep looking at you too long, he look good till I got him. That's the way God do it. He said he never sleep on something. He said, look at them. They don't really like me that much. My God. Oh, yeah. He looking at y'all now. He said, some of them are already mad with you already preaching. But I know in my eyes so I can see you too. So it's just like I can see that woman like me because I got to laugh. I see y'all frowning up. He said in 2 Timothy 3, see, this ain't that. This ain't this kind of preaching that just want to make you feel good. This that kind of preaching make you say, in reality, boy, if I don't get myself right. See, let me tell you about me. I don't care if you don't get no money because you know they want your money. I don't want your money. I want your soul and spirit to be right with God. So if you don't give a dime, I ain't mad with you. But the word that I'm preaching has entered into your soul. It heard through your spiritual ear, and it woke you up to say reality. If I die like this, I'm going to hell. And whether you come back or not, I already put the mail in your mailbox. So when the mailman put that disconnect in your mailbox and you don't pay it at 4 o'clock, I tell you, go home by 8:30 and without some candle. He said in 2 Timothy 3 and 1 and 2, he said, this know also that in the last days perilous time will come, for men shall be lovers of their own self. We love ourselves. Ephesians said, no man has yet hated his own flesh. I might hate yours, but I love mine. In other words, I'm going to give mine what it wants. I probably shouldn't eat a lot of starch and stuff like that, and potato chips and stuff like that. But sometimes this flesh just crave for that stuff. And y'all know what I do? I get up and go to the store when Katrina ain't here. I go to the store. And since I'm a splurge like this, I'm going to get me 2 bags of chips and a soda. So when she get here, I already don't enjoy it. So I've been good all day. And that's the way sin do. Sin draws to stuff. And because the flesh like it, even though we know it's wrong, we'll go ahead and do it because for that moment, it's pleasurable. But it's bad to swap now and pay later. You know how we do with a credit card? We swap now and save our money all month, but you got to pay later. That's the way sin is. We swiping now, but we're going to pay later because the Bible is right. He can't go back on his word. He cannot do it. And if you can't hear God speaking to you, maybe you preoccupied with your own self. Because if we don't change, God is still going to stay righteous to his word because the Bible is right and somebody wrong. He said, if any man shall add unto these things, God, it ain't said Moses, it ain't said Peter, it ain't said Paul, it ain't said John. That's why the Bible is right. That's why I stay with it. He said the Bible right. He says God shall add unto him the plague that is written in his book. You let preachers keep blowing smoke up your butt and lying to you and telling you good with God, and then you hear somebody come back and tell you, this is the problem. This is what you're going to do. This is where you're going to live. And then you say, I don't want to go back to that church. But a restaurant can mess your food up, but just because everybody says good, you'll go back there. Because I don't did it myself. They don't mess up my steaks, and I still go back there to try it again. What I'm saying is when you want to live right, you'll find somebody that's going to tell you right. You ain't gonna, it ain't nothing to play with, and especially if you got children. I'll be trying to get my life right because Acts 2:39 tell me that the promises unto me and my children. That means if I live right, my children can be blessed. But if I live wrong, my children going to be cut. It ain't no generation curse. You caused that because you the parent and you kept going the wrong way. You kept bringing all them crooks in the house. That didn't mean your children no good. That's what's wrong with that. I know because I was a hoe. He said, for men shall be lovers of them own self. All they do is love themselves, and then when they die, it's too late. And then if the preacher even lie, it don't stop you from going to hell. They can talk all this all they want. And you can lay there just as beautiful, but you ain't there. That's why I'm making preparation. Listen to what he said. He said, lovers of pleasure more than the lovers of God. Then he come back in 2 Timothy 3:5. He said, this is what all the church is doing in the morning. They got the lights down low, lights flying all the church. The church door look like a club because now the world don't got into the church because the preacher's not preaching truth. You know, have it bright so I can see what you do. It said, in God there is no darkness at all. So what is the church doing dark for? If ain't no darkness in God, turn the light on. It said darkness can't comprehend it. And that's why I got to turn the word on, because there is no darkness in him at all. I love him too, y'all. I don't care if none of y'all don't want to be saved. I don't care. He said having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, such turn away. They turn away from the truth. They turn away from the truth. They know it's right, but they turn away because it said, man, I don't know, can I live like that? They said, shoot, I like Whataburger, but Whataburger don't let me have it my way. I got to go to Burger King. I got to have, that's why we run from church. That's why we go from church to church. And then when the truth comes, everybody come in, they like the truth. They said, you know, I really like the church. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'll be back. I'm 59 now. They ain't got back yet. So I don't know when they're coming back, but they said they're coming back. And then he tells you in 2 Timothy 3, he said, ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of truth. Ever learning. I'm always learning, but I never come in the knowledge of truth. But when I learned how to drive, when I wanted to learn how to drive to get my driver's license, I studied the book. When I wanted to know how to cook, I got a recipe book. You know, I took time and learned. When I wanted to pass school, I studied. Right. But we won't study this. We'll buy our children the best books. We'll buy our children the best tennis shoes. We'll put them in the best program. But letting them know God, we won't even buy them a Bible. I'm talking to church. And then they stick your children in a church, but it's only one God. He said, some of the children coming to me. And the preacher told me, well, I can't really preach because the children are crying. Well, you must not be called by God. What the children need to go in the church when it said, Pastor, you ain't seen you pastor now Bible. The Bible is right. It said, bring the children unto the shepherd of the house, not unto the youth pastor of the house. So you tell me it's a youth shepherd? Find it in the Bible. The Bible right. When have you seen him tell Peter and John, you go over there and get the 8-year-old, you get the 9, Okay, Mandala Moon, you get the 14-year-old. This is a family deal. We all ought to hear the same thing. Because all these children here, they use a cell phone better than I do, a computer better than I can do. They can read better than I can. They can spell better than I can. Shoot, they like boys and girls like I can. So why we the problem of Jesus? I brought my son, I be getting them a good Bible. I want them to know Jesus like me. Look what he said in 2 Timothy 4:17. I'm just going to break this out like he broke it out to me. He said, notwithstanding the Lord stood with me and strengthened me, that by me the preaching might be fully known. By me. Who you talking about? Me, God? By me. I ain't got time to play with you and make you think all right in sin. We want to do all kind of stuff. We want to be a sissy, dyke, bulldacker, all that stuff. Want to shack, smoke, drink, homemonger, and the preacher on 47, he in my business. That's my job. I'm in your business. And then you want to tell me I can't judge you. I ain't judging you. It's the Bible is right. It's the word that's judging you. And they want to tell me, everybody want to tell me I'm wrong. They say he preaching wrong. He always hard on somebody. But I give him my phone number, 292-1393. Show me what I'm saying is the scripture wrong. Do that for me. My wife's number is 850-377-9451. Call her and see do I live like this at home. We ain't got the I ain't worrying about you calling a rap to her because she saved too. I ain't worrying about you. You mean to tell me that man to get his phone number out? I ain't afraid of y'all. Didn't y'all hear what he said? Y'all didn't hear what he said. He said that by me the preacher might be fully known. Call my number. I can preach through a phone. Call it. Call me up and tell me what you want. Call me up. That's what I'm saying. I ain't afraid of it. I don't get mad. Look what number 32 said. I got to tell you the truth. Look what number 32 and 23 said. He said, but if you will not do so, what I'm telling you, if you will not know that the Bible is right. He said, behold, he said, look, y'all. Look what he said. You have sinned against the Lord, not against the apostle symbol, but be sure your sin. He ain't said my sin. He said, be sure your sin will find you out. The Bible right. Can I change that? Everyone wrong. Ain't somebody wrong, everybody wrong. And they said, well, Pastor, you just always, you don't give nobody no chance. No. He died 2017 years ago to get that chance. That every man can come to repentance. You ain't got to wait. You ain't got to wait. Then look what he said. And people said, you always on gays. They got out there, they said, I got a gay son. And they said, that's why I preach against gays so much. Man, I got bulldaggers in my family, sisters in my family. And if I did have a gay son, I'm going to tell him too. Boy, you going to bust hell wide up. It's going to be hot down there with you. Now, you can keep packing peanut butter, do whatever you want to do, but it's going to be hot. Now, you can love that if you want to. Because God gave us sense. God gave us sense, y'all. He let us know one thing, that you don't see no elephant trying to have no sex with no dog. He always preaching on, well, y'all don't heard I ain't just preaching on no gay. I'm talking about everything. Because preachers ain't no good. When they just begging for money, they ain't no good. Well, how you know the Bible right, Apostle? Because Leviticus 18:22 tell me, and see, can't nobody say, well, he prepared this message because I was coming. I had this message before you got here and didn't know you were coming. Because normally we don't have visitors too much. So this just, I got to do what I got to do. But Leviticus 18:22, he said, thou shalt not lay with mankind as with womankind. It's abomination. They say, I ain't going to say that in the church, man. You be lost some tithes and offering, or they won't come back to my church. Well, God called me to preach. I got to do what he said. I'm tapped into him, so whatever he said from now, it come out my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So if the Bible right, how do we let this happen in the church? How do we let this go on in the church? And then you got little children coming up, and they see you let that go on, and then they start designing to be like that. Why? Because the church promoted it. What does he say? Leviticus 20:13 said, if a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them has committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. their blood shall be upon them. Ain't nobody fault but theirs. But if you don't tell nobody that, it's on your hand. So see, I ain't going to hell for none of y'all. Because I know the Bible right. Y'all hear that? Listen what he said. He said, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall take away. See, you got to tell the truth. You can't add on this to make the people feel good. That's why I said when people join this church, they're going to have a made up mind. Because the next thing we don't do, God told me, do not open the doors of the church and promote somebody to join your church. Just because you see people coming in, you want to open the doors of the church. Sometimes they open the doors of the church and know they ain't got damn visit. Because that's tradition. I don't open the doors of the church because when somebody joins him, they want to know one thing. This is what I preach. I preach the truth. So if you don't want to be a member, we ain't open no doors. When you want to be a member here, you can say, hey, look, this is where I want to be. Like E. Carter in Georgia. She said, I don't heard enough truth. That's where I want to reside. I want to hear truth that it can make me different. It can change my walk. It can change my talk. It can change how I look. And you know what? I tell you all the time, I still look the same, but on the inside, woo, boy, I'm just as beautiful. Fine if you want to say. This is what he said. Listen to what he said. He's trying to tell us something. And I love God because it's in his word. We ain't got to change it for that. We ain't got to do nothing. In 1 John 1, 5, and 6, he said, this is the message which we have heard of him and declared unto you that God is light. Y'all hear that? And y'all know all of this ain't in light this morning. But God is light. And he said, in him is no darkness at all. And when he's talking about darkness, he's talking about sin. But I'm just saying that you came in here in darkness, you don't have to leave in darkness. Because all he said, if you repent for the wrong you're doing, you bust right into it to be 100 watt just like everybody else. And you don't have to continue to be in a 10 watt, kind of got a lit light, but it's dim. The Bible is right. And somebody is wrong. He said, God is light and in him is no darkness at all. He said, and if we say we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie. So I know it's a bunch of lies out here, and every lie you're going to have their part in the lake. You can put on white and say you with God like they do on communion. Everybody come to the church with white on, and then the men being black. But I don't understand why you got on white. But I guess that symbolizes that you're pure. But when you color mullet, you can scale the mother, but when you cut him, they say that black stuff in the middle, you got to get that black stuff out of him. Why? Because that black stuff could contaminate some poison. So just happen. If the Bible right and there is no darkness in him, if I gut you open right now, will I see Christ in you? Will I see a light in you? When I see you leave out of him on your job, do people say something different about her or him? Or do you fit in with the conversation from the weekend? Boy, I had a good time. I partied. Boy, I got drunk. We had a great time. Boy, look at him. God's still good because I went to church Sunday. Huh? And I know God is really is looking at me. Yeah, he is. He said, if we say we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness and do not the truth, do not do what his word said. The Bible is right. That's what we got to do. Stop letting these preachers fool you. See, it's bad when you're trying to get right with God and you go to a man in darkness. Can I come on to y'all? You know the preacher's assistant. You know the preacher divorced his wife and got a girlfriend in Maryland. You know the preacher let you smoke and shack and play the drum. I told the preacher the other day, if he smoke and shack, he can't play nothing up in him. He can't preach in him. He can't talk in him. And for the one reason, we'll do a cappella. Why I'm going to be God, man, called by God and know the Bible right and let anything go on in the house? I don't go against him. I report the duty. I don't go against him. I report. Listen what he said in 1 John 2, 3, and 6. He said, and hereby we know that we know him if we could keep his commandment. If you love me, he said, if you love me, he said, keep my commandment. He asked him, if you love me. When you love somebody, you do all that they want. If you love me, he said, keep my commandment. He that says, I know him and keep not his commandment, again, he's a liar. You see how God said, and we in the church this morning, full, all across the world, liars in the church. And all we want to hear is Joel Osteen said, you good, just keep doing right. And Joseph Prince, they grace and hope. They grace and hope now. But if you don't do what the truth says, you're a lie. So ain't no grace and hope to you. You just giving away money. That's all you doing. And they know that if they tell you these things, you're going to fill the church up. But when truth around, everybody's slow to get there. Truth right there. He's telling you, your deliverance is right over there. A lie. We get to it because why? It's reality. It fools us. Now what me and Terry said, girl, you just find everything in the right place. And you looked in the mirror that morning. You know good and well he lying. But just to hear it, you heard what he told me. You heard what he said. And by the time you go back by that mirror, the mirror said, he lied, baby. He lied to you. And that's what you be saying when you hear truth. That man lied to me. That man made me think I was all right. And see, when you die, ain't no exit. Ain't no come back out there talking about he lied to me. No, it's too late. But listen what he said. He's telling us, he said, your sin will find you out. He said, your sin. He's telling you these things. And people say, man, Pastor, you know, you right, man. I know you telling me right. But God kept me safe till I got saved. All the time I was in the club, all the time I was partying, every time I was with this woman, that woman, one married. God kept me till I got saved. Lord, now, if you want to come back right now, come quickly, Lord. Come quickly. I'm ready now, because tomorrow I might mess up. If you're going to come, don't wait till I mess up, Lord. I'm right now. How many of us can say that? Lord, come now. We say, hold up, God, hold up. Is the Bible right? Don't come now. That's what we telling God right now. No, God, not right now, not right now. The Bible right. And everybody is wrong. That's why I don't talk on what I know. I talk on what it says. And the word, it don't lead you wrong, man. It'll point you in the right direction. That's what I like about him. And we get confused. And that's why Ezekiel 33 said, and this is why everybody mad. He said, so thou, O son of man, O apostle Selma, I have set thee a watchman over Pensacola in the surrounding area. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them. That's all I'm doing, and warn you. What you warn them, apostle Selma? Romans 6:23 said, for the wages of sin is death. Don't nobody want to say that no more because you won't come back. I wish you'd come back. I wish you'd come back and be part of the family. Yes, but even if you don't, let me just drop that off to you. The wages of sin is death. If you keep sinning, you're going to die. It's a known fact there. And then look what Hebrews 11:6 said. It's impossible to please God without faith. And we say we got faith, but we don't want to change. If you have faith in God's word, you'll have confidence in it. If you had confidence in it, you'll trust it. If you had trust in it, you'll hope for it. But see, when you ain't got faith, you just go with every wind and doctrine. If I wasn't saved and I went to a church and I heard all that they said, and then I heard somebody else call out and give me all these scriptures, tell me this is wrong, and I wrote them scriptures down, I went home and read it. Ain't no way I go back in there. Amen. Ain't no way I go back in there. You lied to me all these years. So without faith, it's impossible to please him. For he that come to God must believe. Must believe. And we said, well, Pastor, you saying that, but it ain't really like that. And then he said in the 19th verse of Revelation 22:19, he said, if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophet, if any man take away, that means that he said add first, but if they take away the truth. Y'all hear that? Boy, if I was a preacher, I'd be scared. Fooling all them people. He said another scripture, he said, if one be taken away out the congregation, and in their iniquity, and you hadn't told them, the blood would be on your hand. Well, all y'all can get taken on here, you just go into hell and I'm going to be clean. It's your choice. Ain't nobody can help you. He said, I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. You choose. He's telling us again, he said that you and your children may be blessed. If I choose life, my children are blessed. If I choose a curse, my children are cursed. He said, you choose. Now, what your choice is? If you came in here, you didn't know. But we know the Bible right. That's what we're supposed to believe in. And they said, oh, I believe it. I believe the Bible. But I believe God. But I don't believe Jesus. But when I look at Genesis and I look at John 1 that we read, he said, in the beginning, what's the word? And Jesus was the word. So that put Jesus back in the beginning with God. He said, let there be light. It was the word that Charles is to be light. The Bible is right. And somebody wrong. But listen how this said. People said, well, you know, I'm telling you, God knew when people going to be, you know, doing the wrong thing. It said in Genesis 1:26, it's saying, God said, let us make man in our image, our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle of, and all the earth, and over every creeper thing that creep upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. Y'all hear that? God created man in his own image. So when I look at me, and I look at Sam, we created God's image. But now, people that want to find fault, they say, so you saying God is a woman? The Bible is right. Well, let me show you how to clear it up. It's right down in the scripture. He said, so God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. God created them. So his creation was a male and a female to replenish the earth. So a man and a man, a woman can't do that. So that's already let you know the Bible right. And they wrong. It don't matter how they say it. It don't matter how they try to jazz it up. It don't matter. They said, well, that was talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, Romans said that a man should allow a man. I'm coming out of the Bible. But that ain't the only sin that's going to take you to hell. Now, don't get me wrong. You shacking, you having unlawful sex, they ain't married, you smoking, drinking, whoremonger, you committing adultery, fornication, all that stuff like that. All that take you to hell. Everything that's against God will take you to hell. Well, how you know? That some preacher told me, say, you mean to tell me you think one sin would take you to hell? Y'all want me to answer for y'all? Y'all want the answer? Adam and Eve did one thing and got put out. It don't take you to go to Popeye. You can order 1 piece and fries or 1 piece and red bean, and that's what you get. But it don't take a 15 piece to get you to go to hell. You can order 1 piece at Popeye, but you can order 15 piece. 15 pieces ain't getting you to hell. That 1 piece. That 1 piece got a lot of calories. God trying to tell us something. We just don't want to hear. I love God because we trying to act like God is confused. He ain't confused. He come back in Romans 6 and 12. He said, let not sin therefore reign in your moral body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. He's telling you these things won't work. He come back in Romans 6 and 16. He said, know you not that to whom you yield yourself servant to obey, his servant are you to whom you obey, whether sin unto death or obedience unto right. He said, that's your choice. He said, I ain't forcing nobody. I ain't like the Fed. I ain't kicking nobody's door in to let them love me. He said, I ain't kicking no door in to make you follow me. He said, I gave you a will to make a decision. Is I'm good enough? To make a decision. Do you love me enough? Do you have to make a decision? Is I'm the only wise God? To make a decision. Am I your counselor? Am I your hope? Am I? Or have you found somebody else? And the Bible tells us too. That's why I said it right. He said the children of God will manifest themselves in the children of the devil. So God already knows two different sets of children. Just like Abraham, and talking about the Abraham seed. It said the bondmaid bondwoman had a child, and the free woman had a child. The bondwoman had Ishmael. Sarah had Isaac. The promised child, and he said the bondwoman, which is Ishmael, is flesh. And you know flesh can't do what God wants. The promised child is Isaac. Go ahead, Daddy. Do what you got to do. Getting ready to kill him. He said, go and do what you got to do. The Bible right. What I'm telling you, you might be Abraham's seed, but he had two sons. So is you Ishmael or you Isaac? Are you the flesh child that Abraham had? Or are you the promised child? And the church full of Isaac and Ishmael. Which child are you this morning? We Abraham's seed, but which one? Are you Ishmael or Isaac? Did you come in here this morning in your flesh, or did you come in here in the spirit? One, you got to come in one or the other. He come back in Matthew 21. He tell you a virgin. He said, she shall bring forth a son. He's talking about a virgin. She should do that. He's telling these things, but we still miss it. But Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. But we got people ashamed of the gospel. When you go to work, you don't want nobody to know you saved. What happened? Well, you know, the job don't want me to really talk about him that much. I'm telling y'all, look here, listen to me. The power to stop sinning, it starts with you. You don't need nobody to lay hands on you. They talking about, lay hands on me that I can get right. Just stop sinning. It's in you. Whatever you need. It ain't like that. Most people want the truth until they discover what the truth. Then they say they want to lie. He tells us in 1 John 2 and 15, he said, love not the world. See, that's another way you can tell when people ain't right with God. They love this world. That's why it's hard for us to let go. I used to be like y'all. It was hard. Because your flesh, he said, love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father not in him. And I know people always telling me, when God get ready for me, he'll get me. Well, when he said Father was finished, he was ready. Now, it took me 38 years to realize that he was ready. It ain't just happened overnight. I'd rather give my life to God and let him work out whatever I'm going through than to keep going around him and lying to myself that I'm with God. Because you know they lying. You ain't got to do them, talk to them a little while. They'll lie. He said, for all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. It's not of the Father, but it's of the world. He tell you that. He tell you that is of the world. He said, and the world pass away and the lust thereof, but he that do the will of God abide forever. He that do the will of God. And that's why he come back in 1 Kings 18 and 21. He said, Elijah came unto all the people. Apostle Kim was coming to the whole church this morning, saying, how long halter you between two opinions? How long you going to be halted between serving God or serving something else? You don't know when you're going to die. Like Sister Carol told me, a dude went to the water fountain and bust out and swear he dead now. Young man. You don't have no switch on life. Amen. You don't have no switch on life. The Bible is right. And everybody else that is wrong. Everybody else don't go by the Bible. They're wrong. He come out and said, Elijah said, halter between two opinions. If the Lord be God, follow him. If Baal, then follow him. And the people answer not a word. Who you following this morning? All right. I know we all say the Lord is my shepherd. You ain't following him nowhere. Now, who you following? The Bible right. Is the Lord really your shepherd? The Lord ain't going to lead you to no dog hole. The Lord ain't going to lead you to somebody else. The Lord ain't going to tell you to cuss. The Lord ain't going to tell you to smoke and drink and whoremonger. The Lord ain't going to tell you to be gay. He'll be going against his word. He said, you mean to tell me I died to come back and set you up to be in sin? But preachers don't want to say that because the preacher worrying about getting their gators and getting their nice car, have you paying all their bills. They ain't worried about you being saved. And then when you die, they lie that you going to heaven, and then you rise up and you see the devil in the same place you had. Then you're going to say, why you lie to me? It's too late now. Then you want to cry in hell. Oh, don't worry about it. Fire dry that up. Don't worry about your crying. You ain't gonna see no tears. That fire gonna dry that up. It ain't gonna be that long. Nobody believe there's a hell do not mean it'll disappear. Going to church don't make you a Christian any more than me standing in the garage make me a car. I love the Lord. In 1 Peter 2:21, he said, for even hereunto were you called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that we should follow his steps. How we going to follow his steps and won't do what the word says? And people wait and say, I'm going to get right after a while. You know, just some things I got to get right. Boy, that's a bad thing to do. I'm going to get right after a while. He said, the world pass away and the lust thereof, but he that do the will of God abide forever. He tell him, but Pastor Simmons, you got to preach. Whether they want to hear or don't. He said, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heed to themselves, having itchy ears, and they shall turn their ears from the truth and turn to fables, stories. Y'all know they be telling a story? Jack and Jill went up the hill in church, and everybody got a joke. Y'all just listen to them when they preach to you. They tell you all the jokes. They got all kind of jokes. 3 birds went in the cave, 1 bird flew, the other bird flew, all that stuff like that. And it sound good. It do. It really do. Everybody got jokes. Just listen from now on. Listen to. They have 900 jokes in a 30-minute conversation. Oh, yeah. Now, I said some things that make you laugh, but of a reality. Can you imagine fire, putting your hand in fire? Ain't it hot? Can you imagine fire around everywhere you at and you burning and you will never die? You will be conscious of the fire however long it is. Can you imagine that? You sitting there and your body won't burn up. You just burning, you hollering, and it is not going to stop. It's for eternity. I tell these little children, and you want to hang with your buddies, them they doing wrong. Your mama working hard and trying to give you a right life, trying to tell you do this right, but you want to be with your buddy. They gonna send you to jail or hell. And we got them in the Trinity church coloring. That's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. He's telling us, but the believer has taken the sacred Bible out of the church to have a tablet, to be looking deep and see me. Like it's some. But listen what Psalm 11:6 said. Upon the wicked he shall rain snare and fire and brimstone and a horrible temper. This shall be the portion of their cup. They're going to have a horrible time. A horrible time. And that's why God said in Numbers 23:19, he said, God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Have he said it, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall not make it good? He said that's where we at. Because we think that God gonna change his mind because you gave him $5. Or you think he gonna change his mind because you look good. He the God of the ugly, just like he the God of the pretty. He don't care about what you said. He sent his son to die. And his son did that to redeem us back to him. And now we want to tell God, God, you just take whatever I do. And it's all right. I know you're going to let me in. Well, you better not let him have me on the door. All this suffering I done been through. That's what Rodnell told me. He said that persecution helps spread the gospel. God would bring great result from the believer's suffering. And when I read that, I said, let me suffer. If he's going to bring him great result, let me suffer. All y'all talk about me. All y'all say I ain't right. All y'all say you ain't got to do what I say. All y'all do whatever. If I got to suffer for him, I'll take it. I'll take it. But the Bible is right. And your thoughts is wrong. It's wrong, y'all. I know the Bible right. He come back in St. John 8 and 31 and 32. He said, then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue, that don't mean you do this for 2 months or 2 years. He said, if you continue means from now on. I've been in the church about 5 years now. I just fell back. Okay, you ain't continue. I don't mean that. If you want to go to Mobile, you can't walk up to I-10 and see the sign say Mobile and say, well, I'm going to get there after a while and stay right there. You ain't getting there. He said continue. That means continue to get to Mobile. That's what I'm trying to say. See what I'm saying? He said, then are you my disciple indeed, and you shall know. He said, no. They be saying, it'll make you free. He said, you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. It ain't taking around talking about make you free. No, it's going to make you free. It's a done deal. That's what I like about God. He ain't waiting around for me to say, well, I'm going to wait till they get like apostle, and then I'm going to anoint them. God don't care nothing about knowing how apostle is. He come back in 2 Corinthians 7 and 14, he said, if my people. Oh, why God got to say if all the time to his people? He said, but if my people, which are called by my name. You know he was talking to people that was in the church. He said, but if my people, which are called by my name, and he's telling all the time, he said, come all you that are heavy laden. He said, come, I'll give you rest. He's telling you right there, come. You know, let me wash it, let me make it clean. We don't want to be clean. We don't want to be made clean. He said, come. He said, Terry, I'll make him clean. He said, come. He said, shall humble himself, pray and seek my face, and turn from the wicked way. That's the problem. We can't turn from our wicked way. I don't like her in the church. I ain't never liked her in the church. And I still don't like her. I don't like that person on my job. They were nasty to me. My boss was nasty to me. That's not a believer. He said, if you don't forgive them, it's the Bible right. But we try to justify it with our flesh. I don't care what you say, Apostle Simon. They did me wrong, and I ain't getting rid of it. Well, I ain't going with you. He said in Hebrews 9:27, as it is appointed unto man once to die, but after this, the judgment. It's appointed for all of us to die once. But after that, it's a judgment. That's why I've got to be born again. I told the church the other night, I couldn't pick the family that I was born in, but I sure can be born again into a new family. I can't say I can get rid of Hazel Island, but I sure can bust up out of that sin they was in. One time I had my niece to call me and say, you know, all of us going through diabetes and cancer and stuff like that. Everybody in our family getting sick with cancer and diabetes. I said, not me. She said, why you said not me? I've been born again. That's y'all going through that. I ain't going through that. I ain't finna life and death in the power of tongue. I ain't finna go through what y'all go through. No, girl. That's what John 3 and 18 said. He that believe on him is not condemned, but he that believes not is condemned already. Some of us sitting right here this morning is condemned already because we don't believe God's word. The Bible is right. There's somebody wrong. I'm closing now. You know, usually me keep playing with this. God is releasing me, and I'm not going to sit here and try to plow nothing into nobody. I know when he's telling me to stop. But we better look at the teaching of man. I want it my way, and I'm still going to say it's God. So many times we have it our way, and we still want to tag God on. I'm living a sinful life, and everything I do, I want to still say, God bless me. That ain't true. It said, teaching for the doctrine, the commandment of men, for lay aside the commandment of God, yea, and hold to the tradition of men. Full well you rejected the commandment of God, that you make your own tradition, making the word of God of none effect through your tradition. God said, Terry, they hear my word, but they still make the decision to do what they want to do. But God said, so that they would doubt excuses, because when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. And their foolish heart was darker. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. They became fools. He said, Terry, that's the way the world is. The church has changed. The people in the church have changed my words so much. They water it down so much that people don't know what truth is. That's why so many people saying, I'm a black Israelite, or they choose to be a Muslim and be a prejudice, when God is not a prejudiced God. And if we believe the Bible and it said that God is a spirit, what color do it matter what it is? If I'm born again, I love everybody. The Bible is right and somebody's wrong. Talks about it.